p.m. I'd like to ask everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll do roll call, Josh.
Joshua Huseman, present.
Eric Bright, present.
Richard Mulvaney present. Bruce Formal is present.
Tina St. Clair.
Paul Johns present.
Alan Hayes.
Okay, thank you very much. First item is the consent agenda. The consideration and approval of the March 26, 2026 Planning and Zoning Board meeting minutes.
I had, there's two corrections, page 6 and 7. Mr. Ganesh's address is incorrect. It's correct above that, like on page 5 and before that, but on 6 and 7, it says 228. It should be 448. Besides those two, I would motion to approve.
Do we have a second to approve with corrections?
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Josh, and then it was Paul. There's nothing under old business, so we'll go to new business, which is the consideration and recommendation, the annual selection of Board of Officers, Chair and Vice Chair. And
I'll go through that just so John can work on
Okay.
his other stuff. So according to section 48-3 of the code, which talks about the Planning and Zoning Commission, under subsection C, it talks about officers, and it says the Planning and Zoning Commission shall annually select from among its membership a chairman and a vice chairman. This annual selection shall occur at the regularly scheduled March meeting and shall be subject to the approval of the town council. So we did not do that, obviously, at this past March meeting. So this is the next best thing, is doing it at the April meeting. So if anyone would like to make any nominations for the chairman position.
Do you do them separately? Chairman and
I would
chairman?
I would suggest doing them separately, do the chairman first and then
All right.
do the vice chairman.
Tina, you in?
if you want to nominate me, that's.
I would like to nominate Tina St.
Thank
Clair
you.
I'll second.
as chairman.
Do we do a roll call on this one?
Do we ask for other nominations or do we vote on the
Well, they got a motion.
motion? Okay. So
John's taught me that much. Sometimes I forget the order. So is it a roll call, John?
I would just.
Okay, Josh,
Yes.
Eric, yes.
Richard, yes.
Bruce, yes.
do I abstain?
Yes.
Okay, but John voted for me. Go ahead.
Oh, yes.
Alan, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. So now we'll do the nomination for the vice chair.
I'd like to nominate Richard Mulvaney.
I don't want to accept.
Come on, man.
No. I got too much stuff going on right now. Sorry. I appreciate it.
I'd like to nominate Josh Huseman.
You okay with that?
Yeah, why not?
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call. Eric.
Eric, yes.
The second was Paul.
Richard, yes.
Bruce, yes.
Tina, yes.
Paul, yes.
Alan, yes.
Okay, very good.
Just don't miss any meetings and we're good.
So the third item on our agenda is the consideration approval, the shed placement of 332 Terracotta Terrace, April.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair and board members. This is another request for a shed to be located in the side yard. We are working on proposed changes to the land development code to address your previous discussion. But until that is back on your agenda, we plan for next month. We do have a couple of building permits that were requested, and this is one of them. So this proposed shed would be in the side yard because the applicant's rear yard has an elevation change, and so they can't place the shed in their rear yard. if I understand correctly, the shed may already be located there.
It is. I went out and checked both properties.
And so one of the things that I made clear in the staff report for you, and I'd also relate to the property owner, is that the first step is to see if the board would allow the shed in the side yard. And if so, it would either need to meet the setback requirements, stylistic requirements based on size. And if not, it would need to go through a variance process as well. So the applicant does understand that, and they're willing to work to comply with code if the shed could be approved in their side yard. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
What's the square footage of the shed?
It is, there were two documents in the building permit application file. One said it was 180 square feet, and then there was another that indicated it was 144. Either way, it would still have to meet the design requirements with that. And I do believe that the applicant, thank you, is here if you'd like to ask any question of the family as well.
Anyone have any questions for the applicant?
My concern would be just the size, if it is truly the 180. I did drive by just both of these properties just to look, and I did notice it was there. And it looks like it's about a foot off the property line right now. So if it's the one, if we go on the assumption of what we're thinking of changing, and I know we have to go on present, like if it's present, it's just a matter of approving it or not. But the 144 allows the 5. The 180 would have to be 10. I don't think they're going to be able to, there's no way you could push it into the house and go in a couple feet and it wouldn't meet it. So I don't know. I mean, I'm all for allowing it in the side yard. Obviously, I was the one that brought all this stuff up. My concern would be, I think it would probably have to be asked for a variance because of the size. Obviously, with it being there, you don't want to have to make them move it. I do believe last year we had one that was 10 by 20 that was already placed, and it was a foot from the rear property line. And town council made them move it to 5. But I do believe that did have to go through a variance request. Again, I'm all for letting it be in the side yard. It's behind a fence. It's not ugly. It's a nice looking shed. It's not like it's dilapidated or anything like that. But I think it would have to go through the variance for the 5 feet, I believe, and it would need to be moved over about 4 foot. It might be 3.5.
That's correct.
At those sizes, either 144 or 180, it still has to match the house though, correct?
Right,
Correct. That's right.
so that's the second part.
Okay.
Well, the 144, I don't think it requires it matches the house if you're under 144.
So
I mean, I think, well, and I will tell you, the HOAs are not going to let you put up a red shed with a white house. They'll say, no, it has to be at least close comparison. And again, that's an HOA over there. So it's not, I believe it was a tan color. I don't remember what the house color was, but it was a tan. It was a pretty standard color with white trim.
April, isn't it, if it goes past the 120?
144.
It's 144.
Is
Yeah,
it
if it's 144 or above.
The matching, okay.
yes, there's two provisions in the code, and one requires that at the 144 and above, one provision requires that you match the colors and the style.
Yeah.
If it's stick built, then it has to be exact, or site built, it has to be exactly the same
The same
materials.
Right.
materials, Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So at this point, are you making a motion that it goes to a variance?
Would you like to hear from the applicant?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm perfectly fine. Yeah, absolutely.
Would you?
I can paint this page.
Yeah, if you want to come up, you'll
Yeah, if
come
you don't
up
mind
to
just
the
coming to the
podium.
mic.
Is that mic on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so if you'll come up to the podium, speak your name and your address, and then you can,
Joseph Finelli. We live at 332 Terracotta Terrace. We'd like to have our shed approved if possible. We didn't realize that this process was required before we got the shed and put it there. We apologize. And the shed can be painted almost immediately if it needs to be. We have the paint in the garage.
does anyone have any questions for the applicant?
I guess my biggest question is, would you be able to get someone, because right now it's about a foot from the property line, if I'm correct. I am almost positive no matter what we do, town council is going to tell you to move to the 5 foot. Is that feasible for you all to do? I know it looked like there was a decent amount of space on the one side, and obviously the 10 foot's just, it's impossible. And I wouldn't ask you to do that because then at that point you'd have to burn it down. So I think the 5 foot would be reasonable to move it over. And obviously I think requiring it to be the same color of the house.
I could figure out how to get it 5 feet.
Okay.
And I think the 5 feet would meet the new code as we're considering it, right?
Well, we had said up to 144.5, and I think you had mentioned over 144.10.
Okay.
I'm not as big of a stickler about that. I mean, I saw, like, again, he has a fence, so I couldn't see it, but you could clearly see the back of his yard is like this.
Yeah.
There's no way in heck you're getting a
That's the
shed.
area up-
Yeah, it is a huge, you can see the trees up there. So really his only option is that side yard.
Okay.
He can't get it there. Obviously it's just a matter of whether going for, again, I'd be fine with it the way it is. Just I think it needs to be moved 5 feet and painted to match the house.
So one of the things that I can clarify for the board is that this is in a PUD. And the way that the code reads is that for accessory structures, they, if it doesn't call it a different setback, then they have to meet the setback for the primary structure. In this development, the side setback for the primary structure of the house is 5.5 feet. So based on that, then it would be required to meet 5.5 feet. And then it's just up to the planning board to decide if it should be allowed in the side yard or not.
So it does have to go to 5.5. not
It does have to
Okay.
go to 5.5. Yes, sir. The one
Which
thing,
maybe you have to move a 5, move an extra half foot.
yeah. And so what I do need to check though, double check is the size of the shed and just make sure what that is. So I can get with you on the size of the shed.
Do you know the size of the shed?
I do not.
Is the shed on a concrete pad or strapped down or?
It is on pavers, so it's on stacked pavers. Has about a half a foot of clearance from the ground.
So was it purchased from a shed company?
It was brought in by a shed company,
Okay.
yes, sir.
There'll be a label inside it, should be inside the door, stamped on the wall that'll tell you the size.
Yeah.
And if it meets code,
Okay.
so.
So I guess I need to amend my motion for the 5.5 feet versus 5. So I would motion to allow it in the side yard at the proposed 5.5 feet to meet the building requirement setback and painting it the same color.
And it is behind a fence?
Yeah, it's behind a fence. It's you see, I mean, it's a 6 foot vinyl fence. There's no gate on that side or anything. So again, you see part of the top of the shed, but, and again, when you think about it, the HOAs are usually more particular than the town as far as the looks.
I think there's actually documents on here. that-
Yep, yeah, there was documentation in there. Yep.
HOA
Right.
management company had us.
I'll second the amended proposal,
Okay. So
motion.
at this point, we'll do a roll call, Josh.
Josh, yes.
Eric, yes.
Richard, yes.
Bruce, yes.
Tina, yes.
Paul, yes.
Alan, yes.
So what that means for you is that now the next step, it'll go to town council. We've recommended that.
Doesn't
it-
have to, right? Because it's not a variance.
Oh, because it's, you're right.
Yep.
Thank you.
So he's
So
good.
at this point, you're good as long as you get it moved the 5.5 feet and get it painted. Is that correct?
Is that the?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is it
Thank
okay
you.
if we leave? Our kids go to bed soon.
Oh,
And Mr. Finelli, just to let you know, what you would want to do is have whoever submitted the building permit application just revise the plans to show it's going to meet that 5.5 foot setback. And then it can be really relocated to that. And then Mr. McDonald will follow up with the code enforcement issue as well. So
Thank you.
you're very welcome. And please reach out to me if you need any or have any questions or anything. Thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So then April, you want to talk about the consideration and approval of the shed placement at 201 South Mirror Avenue?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. Get to that real quick. Okay, this is a shed, little different situation. They don't have room in their backyard. This is Ms. Weidman's property at 201 South Mirror Avenue. They're proposing to place their 10 by 12 shed in the side yard because there are trees in the rear yard. So there's not room to locate that shed. She does propose to meet all of the required setbacks. Just the placement in the side yard is what's being requested. And she is here if you have any questions for her as well.
I went out and looked at this one as well. Those trees are massive in the backyard. If you like did Tetris, you could squeeze it in, but obviously that wouldn't make any sense. I would say it makes complete sense to do this. And I think they added the pictures so y'all
Yeah.
can see exactly.
Yeah.
Census in the
Mhm.
sketch. Lay it out.
Yeah, right. And it's behind it is just kind of some forest that they have not cleared for Hillside Grove. So I think it's a perfect spot for it.
Does anyone have any questions for the applicant? No? You want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the shed placement for 201 South Mare in the side yard as long as it meets the required setbacks.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call.
Josh, yes.
Eric, yes.
Richard, yes.
Bruce, yes.
Tina, yes.
Oh, yes.
Alan, yes.
Okay, motion passes. Very good.
So I'll be able
Um,
to approve your building permit application now.
Next, we have consideration approval Regency at Lake Hills architectural elevation review. Is there someone here? Okay. I'm gonna let April talk and then we'll let you do your presentation if you'd like. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a complete package from Toll Brothers with respect to Regency at Lake Hills. So this is the Lake Hills portion of residential portion of that development. So what you have before you are elevations for each of the three different types of lots, the 40-foot, 50-foot, and 60-foot wide lots. What they have proposed does meet the requirements for the land development code with respect to the percentages for front porches, the percentages for recessed garages, and they've provided for you a matrix in your application packet that shows the percentages at which they're meeting those two requirements. They've also provided a map for the board that shows lots that will be required to have a primary facade on the multiple facades. So if a side is facing the right of way, then it would be required to have a primary facade as well. That is something that we will be using in the building permit review stage to ensure compliance with those requirements of your land development code. Based on the fact that what's presented is it meets the requirements of the land development code, staff is recommending approval with what is in your package, and I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have for me, and then the applicant can discuss with you any items that you would like. Thank you.
So from the concept plan here, the main road that goes all the way through, it looks like every house that faces that main road is gonna either have the recessed garage or the extended porch, right? Am I reading this right? So.
Well, I think
all
that
of
blue
these-
dot it receives additional, so it has a rear side. So
This
like,
is the main road, right?
right, but I think that might be the back of them, Alan. So like if you look as you're coming in, so that
Oh,
first
okay.
section where the three dot or all the dots on the left, I think the front of the homes face towards the green. So I believe
Okay.
the rear is where it will have,
So those would be backyards.
yeah, that'll
On
be
the main
back.
road.
So it'll have the extra, because it borders another road, it has to have the four architectural elements.
Okay.
And Danielle is here with Toll Brothers who can
Yes.
help you.
Would you please state your name and your address, please?
So my name is Danielle Abadib. I'm with Toll Brothers. We're located at 2966 Commerce Park Drive in Orlando, Florida.
Thank you.
Okay, so the blue dots don't designate anything to do with garages or porches. It's just architectural designs on the rear.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay.
So we've got on the separate sheet outlined which plans will meet the the porch and the garage requirement by floor plan and then also by elevation.
Okay.
And this, the separate document that is not on that concept plan, but they do break down each of their specific models and have provided which ones have the front porch and a recessed garage, or front porch or a recessed garage. So for the meeting the front porch requirement, they propose that their percentage of plans that meet that are 26%. And then for the recessed garage, 44%. So they've exceeded that. And then we will also use this as building permits are received, reviewed, and issued, that it's compliant with that as well.
And is that for each phase?
This is only with respect to this phase right now, I believe. Is
How
that
do-
right?
Is it by?
How do you mean?
By phase one, all those, that percentage, phase one?
No, that'll be throughout the entire community.
Okay.
Okay.
So just as a percentage of what we plan to offer in the community as a whole.
So we don't know what percentage it is for each phase.
Well, that will depend on what people decide to purchase, I suppose, but regardless of what they purchase, will still meet that requirement throughout the community, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I'm assuming your goal will be to try to sell a certain percentage of these per phase.
Correct.
To ensure
Yes.
that you're not gonna.
Yep, and we've got, so as you can see, the floor plan types are outlined by, we don't exactly have it noted here, but they're outlined by size. So it'll be our paired villas, which are the, we call them duets. They're essentially a duplex, a 40-foot wide single family home and a 60-foot wide single family home. And then on the map that we've provided, that's outlined as well. So underneath the plan summary, you can see they're color coded to show you where that type of home will be located. And then that aligns with the type of floor plans allotted for those lot types.
Barely any of the 40s.
Mm-hmm. So the Solera collection, as you can see on the porch and garage requirement sheet, aligns with the yellow coding on the site plan. So we would have 290 of those throughout the entire community. And then the Vines collection would be the green color code, and we've got 234 of those throughout the entire community. And then as far as phasing is concerned, up in the top corner, we've got the lot phasing, which kind of outlines how many of each of those home types will be in each phase.
Any questions for the applicant regarding the plans, the elevations? When I first looked at this and I wasn't paying attention to what I was looking at, I was like, looking at the door color. I thought, oh, and then I was like, oh, that's the door.
I like to keep it interesting.
Yes, yes. At this point, if there's no questions or discussion, is there any public comment? Anyone online? John?
Like, raise your hands, we'll press
Control Y.
control Y or option Y.
No, okay. Close public comment. At this point, we're looking for a motion then.
Make a motion to approve the proposed models and elevations attached in this agenda item to be used within Regency at Lake Hills.
Okay,
I'll second that.
you have a second? Okay, roll call.
Josh, yes.
Eric, yes.
Richard, yes.
Bruce, yes.
Tina, yes.
Paul, yes.
Alan, yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
When will that go before town council? It doesn't, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next is the consideration and approval of the Hillside Groves Architectural Elevation Review, the new models, and this is for the Meritage. April.
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you, and board members. The item before you tonight for Meritage, this is following up from the agenda item that was continued from your March meeting. So it's a little different than what the board had directed come back to you at the previous meeting. The reason for that, and I can let the applicant speak to this more directly, but just from my review of what's been provided, the applicant has taken the comments and the direction from the board from the previous meetings. They've retooled their models, so they're basically starting over. What they would like to do, because they are already at the point to receive building permit approvals, what they're requesting is that they start with the 6 models that are before you tonight. The difference between these and some that you have approved in the past is that only one of these, I believe, has the front porch and a recessed garage. However, these are the ones that the applicant is seeking to start with, but they recognize and are committed to that any of the additional elevations that come before you, that they will meet that 25% requirement for front porches and recessed garages. So although you have a complete package from the previous applicant, there's nothing in your code that requires that all of the models be brought to you at the same time. So in an effort to work with the applicant to be able to get started, the recommendation from staff is to approve the proposed 6 models / elevations as part of this agenda item, just with the recognition that moving forward, any future models that come before you, they're going to have to demonstrate that they meet the requirements of 25% for recessed garages and front porches. So I felt like recommending approval is a way to not penalize them for going back to the drawing board to try to meet the intent of your code. And if you look at the elevations that they've done, they really are a good job at making it better than even what was originally approved. That's my opinion. Sorry, it's subjective, but I do think that they look really nice. So I'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have. And then the applicant is also here who can address you with anything you'd like to cover.
Would you state your name and your address, please?
Yes, Alex Flores, 5337 Millennial Lakes Boulevard in Orlando. And I also have 2 people on the line as well, just in case if they have any specific questions, they can also answer.
Thank you.
In reading through the material, do I get this right that these are models that you have not built before?
Correct. So we're none of them. We are taking code from pretty much all municipalities because requirements are kind of the same, and taking something that we can just change here and there depending on city or town, but that we're able to use across the board. But this will be the first time that we build these.
Is it a floor plan that you've used before and these are just architectural details that are different, or a whole new floor plan?
That is going to be a question for Navin, who is online.
What's that?
Navin.
Nauman.
Can you hear me?
Just a second, we're gonna make the speaker a little louder. Okay, go ahead.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah,
we are.
could you state your name and your address, please?
My name is Navin, Navin. Address is 5337 Millennial Lakes Boulevard, Orlando, Florida, 32839.
Thank you.
So
to
Navin,
answer-
the question was if it was the same floor plan or different.
It's a variation of the floor plan. So we took a floor plan that we built it and made some modification on the interior of the house. So if you want to say it's a whole different floor plan, yes, it is.
Okay.
The only one I had a question on was the transitional, just because looking at it, I was kind of, it just looks very different, I guess I should say, from the front elevation. And I know previously when you had brought these in, we had a few that were a little different. So if I'm looking at that correctly, is it, and when it says transitional, is it taking a cue from like mid-century modern? I just can't quite envision what it's gonna actually look like.
Sorry, I'm trying to find the one that you're.
Yeah.
Yeah, which one are you just referencing? And I can.
It's the transitional, let me see which
Are you-
one. it
Is that the elevation you're referencing? The
I think it's the
Yeah.
Hillsborough, it says Hillsborough left
Yeah.
hand lot 44.
Yes.
Gotcha.
One that is,
Yeah, so when we say transitional, that's just a description of the elevation. It's more, it's, you want to consider it as a modern. But, when we have a different style, we have elevation called Floridian, which is a Floridian type elevation style, craftsman, more, and then we call this one transitional or modern.
okay. The others to me, and as April says, it's subjective, the others to me were much more attractive than this one. Just because I can't quite figure out, it looks like it's got a lot going on.
You want me to explain it to you?
Sure.
Got a half
Yeah.
gable coming out on the right-hand side, and it's got a hip roof on the left-hand side that comes into that gable.
Okay,
So you're gonna have a gable.
so then it's gonna go down, it's
Right.
like this,
The one on your left is gonna be one coming down towards you that comes into that side wall.
yeah.
There's gonna be a half gable on the front elevation.
Okay.
Does that make
Cause
sense?
we've got the brick, we've got stucco, then we're gonna have roof line and.
Yeah, so you got the brick on there and that half on that wall and some stucco, a smooth garage door, a sleek, if you want a sleek or modern look, coach lights on there. Like the general was saying, the gable, the half that goes into the roof line.
With the exception of the models, do you build these for each homeowner, or do you build a bunch and then try and sell?
You want me to go ahead, Alex? You want me to take that?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mix. I mean, there are some
Yeah.
that we build and then it's gonna be, if somebody really wants to buy a lot and they really want a specific model, then we can do that as well.
So throughout the development, you're going to kind of ebb and flow in terms of what people like and buy and what they don't and don't buy.
But
Right.
still meeting all requirements, but yes,
But still mean.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So I guess if they don't like it, they won't buy it.
That's what it goes.
My
that's
guess
what-
is Tina's not buying one.
It's not that particular.
Not that one. Okay, thank
I
you.
think it's good to have a mix. Again, these are the 6 proposed that they want to build now. And again, like you said, Tina, somebody doesn't like it, they're not gonna buy that one. If
Yes.
they build a spec home like that and you don't like it, well, you find another one. They have
Yeah.
at least
But-
5 other models.
And
Yeah.
I knew because I had read the email as well that they were new, but I was trying to get an idea of what that looks like, because that one, but thank you, Richard, because you did give me a little bit better understanding. When you're looking at something flat, that's not flat. It's hard to understand the dimensions.
It does have a recessed porch, so if you look at the floor plan,
Yes.
Mhm.
you can see where the front door is
Got a column.
recessed back in, right?
Yeah.
There's a column in the front.
Yeah.
So I think that will break up the front somewhat,
Yeah.
but it'll still be very busy in my mind.
Yeah,
But that corner that you see to the right of the door will go back in. So
Mhm.
the flow of the stucco will flow back into the front door.
Yeah.
So, I think it looks busy,
Like a hallway almost.
right, as a flat. I think it'll look a little bit more attractive as a 3-dimensional drawing. Or 3-dimensional build.
The other comment I would like to make is I think they listened to us at the last meeting. And we basically said, hey, this is not going to cut it. And if you look at these drawings, they specifically called out, they made it very legible. It is super easy. And when I'd emailed Alex, one of the things I had mentioned was like, obviously, if you have the secondaries on a street, that they have to have the primary. And she mentioned that right now, none of those, or that's not going to be an issue.
And I also did want to add to that, at least, and Navin, correct me if I'm saying this wrong, at least one elevation of every single floor plan that we offer will have it all the way around
Mhm.
as well. So we did cover it that
Yeah,
way.
I mean,
I did like,
you
yeah.
could- yeah, you can see like on this transitional one that we were talking about, if you look at that particular elevation, you can see on the right and left, they have the elements called along the side
Yep.
of the home.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was very good that they actually listened to us, because a lot of times we'll make comments and they come back and it's not been fixed. This is clearly, they listened to us, they heard us, and they made the changes.
Very good. At this point, I'll open it for public comment, if there's any public comment. Anyone online, option Y, control Y, raise your hand to be called on. At this point, I'll close public comment and I'll ask for a motion.
A motion to approve the proposed 6 models elevation attached in this agenda item to be used within Hillside Grove's portion of the reserve at Howey-in-the-Hills PUD.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Eric seconds. Roll call.
Josh, yes.
Eric, yes.
Richard, yes.
Bruce, yes.
Tina, yes.
Oh, yes.
Alan, yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
listening to us and bringing back these plans.
Yes, thank you. And I believe we just owe you the landscape plans for the building permits. Okay. Okay, sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we'll open the floor for any public comments. Anyone online, option Y, control Y? Raise your hand. No. At this time, I'll close public comment and open it for board comments.
I'll try to be quick. Just a reminder for everybody that's here, not that it's super busy, but the board as well. This Saturday, the town is doing a lakeshore cleanup. It's from 8 to 11 a.m. The goal is to get some people out there. There'll be people out there with boats, kayaks. Morgan, Public Services Directors, working with Keep Lake Beautiful to get plenty of long reaches, just to get all the trash and everything out of the weeds and all that since they had sprayed. So that is, 8 to 11, and then they'll be serving some hot dogs from 11 to 12 if anybody can come out. The second thing is, if y'all haven't been down there, 3 of the finger piers have been replaced. 2 do have concrete to them, so they're now ADA accessible. You can get right up to them. The third is in the process of being built with concrete. So at some point, the goal is to replace them all. It's just a matter of funding. And behind us, I don't know if y'all noticed, there's new basketball goals. Parks and Rec, that's one of the biggest things we push, is that probably gets more use than anything else in the town. And those goals were.
And if I can just add on those, we did sign the contract, I believe, to do the resurfacing.
Oh, you stole my thunder. That was next.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we've also just today signed the contract to redo the boat ramp here as well.
Yep.
Good.
So yeah, all that's coming, obviously, for people that use it. It's getting there.
And Founder's Day, Saturday, May the 9th.
Looking for
have
vendors.
20+ vendors. Last time I saw it was 13 or 14 food trucks, a DJ. So Saturday, May 9th from 10 to 12 or 10 to 2 down Central all the way to Griffin Park.
But you can only attend that if you clean up the lake on Saturday.
Featured that. My newsletter that came out. If you got the newsletter, it's on there, as well as the Memorial Day and the Howey Library events. So I didn't know about yours at the time.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yep.
It is what it is.
So hopefully that went out 2,000 newsletters. Get some people here. Very good. Well, and East Central, they finished well, it hasn't finished, but they did the sidewalk that connected the sidewalk. I guess they found the tree stumps from those, so it's kind of zigging and zagging. But I did notice it's got the handicap ramp onto Lakeshore, and then on the gazebo side, they did the handicap ramp so that they'll be able to do wheelchairs up and down.
To piggyback off that, I just talked to Morgan yesterday as well. It should be next year. If you've walked up and down Palm, you notice you go from sidewalk to grass to road.
Yeah.
That should be done next year, but that's done by DOT, so.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always thought that was kind of strange.
Yeah, well, I was out, we were walking one weekend and Gavin was with us. And of course, as he's coming down, he has to like turn his wheelchair backwards. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of a problem. Like you have to go up these humps and all that. Again, I don't think about it because I'm just walking. It's not a big deal. But with the wheelchair there's a lot of humps and ups and downs.
Well, excellent.
Is the sidewalk only gonna be on the east side?
I believe they're doing both. I believe when DOT does, because you got to figure there's sidewalks there on both sides of Palm already,
Right.
but there's a section and then almost every place there's a road, not every spot. There's some that do meet up, but it's very seldom. But there's like maybe the last 2, 3, some at 6 feet that there's grass. So you go from sidewalk to grass to road, back to grass, back to sidewalk. So the goal is to run that obviously up to the road. But again, it's DOT, so
And how far? All the way to Citrus?
I believe from Oleander up to where it is now. Yeah, but I believe that is Citrus. I believe it. I think anywhere those sections are. But if you have more questions on that, Morgan would be the one to ask. He was looking for it the other day because I did ask him, and he had mentioned that it's DOT did mention as part of the resurfacing and all that on 19 that they'll be doing that.
Cool.
Any other board discussion? Sean or John?
If I could just say one thing, just wanted to congratulate Mr. Formals
Yes,
for getting on the board. Congratulations.
welcome.
You got big shoes to fill. The lady used to sit there was kind of, she had it together. There you go.
Well, excellent. At this point, I'm looking
force.
for one last.
Motion to adjourn.
That was a force.
Second.
She is a.
All in favor, say aye. Thank you, guys.
She is a force to be reckoned with. You still need, we had talked about, you need extra kayaks? You had like a Boy Scout troop or something, right?
So I don't know where you're trying to get some Heath Lake. They were supposed to bring some and drop some off. Obviously, I don't want you to.
Okay. If you need them, just reach out this week, because I can get either 2 or 4, whatever you need.
I'll double check.